Welcome to another 10-minute tip brought to you by the Ohlson Group. Today's 10-minute tip is entitled The Laughing Banker. Let me give you a little background on the Laughing Banker. It's a concept, it's a story that I've used to sell products since I started in the business more years ago than I even want to tell you. But this story and this concept, or something similar to this, has been used by many of the greats in the life insurance industry. I remember it most told by one of my heroes in the business, the late Benjamin Woodson, Woody Woodson, that for years wrote the back page in what today is the Advisor magazine. And he was the chairman and CEO of American General Life that really took that company to levels of greatness. But he talked about the Laughing Banker and gave many other concepts. And you know, I believe in storytelling. And storytelling helps get your message across. Because if we truly believe that people really function more on emotion than logic, let's listen to that story then. Let's speak to them the way they want to be spoken to. So here's how the Laughing Banker story goes, and we have some cute pictures to go along with it. Here's the concept, and I'm going to role play a little bit. Well, Mrs. Smith, I understand that you've done business with your bank for a long time, and you know, ABC Bank is a great bank. As a matter of fact, I keep a lot of my money there as well. But I really think that $100,000 that you have earmarked to be passed down can do better in a product that I have with one of these capital transfer concepts. And see, the money will be put into a life insurance policy. Well, I don't know if that's going to be better, says Mrs. Smith. Well, I don't know either, but you're 65, and if you give me $100,000, I'll make it worth $200,000 to be passed down. You know, I really don't want to make a decision without talking to Harry over at ABC Bank. Well, then, Mrs. Smith, let's make a deal. Let's you and I get in the car right down. I know Harry, he's a great guy. And let's talk to him about what we're trying to accomplish. You like this concept today that I've given you, don't you? Yes. It suits your needs. Yeah. Fulfills all of the dreams you want for money to be left to your heirs. Yes. So let's do this. If Harry can even match it, I'm going to say I want you to keep your money with Harry in the bank. Let's go. So we get in the car and we take off. So as you can see with the slide, Harry, we have an idea, a concept I want to talk to you about. And we're in competition for Mrs. Smith's money. And I've told her, you're a great guy, I like you, I do banking business here, and if they can match what I want to propose to her, what Mrs. Smith has seen and liked, I'm suggesting that she keeps the money in the bank. So you ready, Harry? Harry says yes. Here's the first thing we're going to do. I'm going to give you $100,000. And then what I want you to do, as soon as you take the $100,000 of Mrs. Smith's money, and she signs that she's put it in your account, I want you then to turn around and say, okay, Mrs. Smith, your $100,000 has now grown to $200,000 immediately. God forbid you walk out of the door and get run over by one of the tellers. Okay? Now, first he's looking at us a little bit funny. But we also say, Harry, I want you to look at this and think about this other concept. You know, Mrs. Smith's 65 and she's been in very good health. But if for any reason down the road she could not perform two of the activities of daily living, what I want you to do out of this $200,000 is keep $25,000 over an account to be passed on to her heirs at time of death, and I want you to give her the balance, the $175,000. And I'd like for you to pay it over 33 months, and I'd like it to be tax-free too. Now you're looking at me, I know Harry, you're saying, hey, what are you talking about? You just gave me $100,000. What if this happens tomorrow? Bad luck on the bank's part, right? But this is the deal I'm proposing to Mrs. Smith. Now, something else. Times change today, Harry, right? Oh, yeah, Ray. Mrs. Smith is a little bit nervous about the economy, about the oil spill, about terrorists, about life in general, or if an emergency comes up, she might want to come to you and say, and at any time, Harry, if I change my mind, even though you've made these commitments, I want my money back. No questions asked, and you give her the money. Now, Harry, I'm also assuming since we're giving you money, you're going to credit interest on this. And the contracts that I have pay at least a guarantee 2 or 3 on the cash value, 2 or 3%, and the opportunity to grow more. So I want you to continue to give her interest on the money. And if she ever wants to borrow, Harry, We'll discuss it later, but you can't charge her more than a 2% net interest rate on the money. Harry, why are you smiling? You look befuddled. Also, if she passes away, and I hope it's not too soon, because we both treasure Mrs. Smith, right, Harry? We don't want any tax time bomb. We don't want any of the heirs to pay any money on that $200,000 account. And we want it to go tax-free to the named beneficiary. We want it free of probate. It supersedes anything in the will. It can't be changed. That money is going to go exactly where Mrs. Smith wants it to go. So I guess, Harry, in summary, I'm going to give you 100 of Mrs. Smith's money. She's going to write the check. We're going to make it worth $200,000 overnight. If she can't do 2 of the ADLs, activities of daily living, I want you to give her basically 3% of that amount per month. 3 times 200, $6,000 a month to pay bills. Make it tax-free. Make sure she's earning 2 to 3% on her money, and let her borrow at a net cost of 2%. If she ever changes her mind, and she could, I want you to give her the money back, and at time of death, I want your institution to pay out a minimum of double $200,000 tax-free. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, what happened, as you can see, Harry started laughing. And I asked Harry, so what's so funny, Harry the banker? He said, no one can do that. Harry, yes, I can. Mrs. Smith, you ready to roll? She says yes. Then give Mrs. Smith her money. She's doing a capital transfer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we can use a lot of slides, we can use a lot of proposals, and we're going to give you all the backup to do all those kind of things to show you exactly how these dollars work. But the laughing banker concept is a great story to use to sell life insurance. Whether it's single premium life, whether it's limited pay like some of the 7-pay stuff we have, or whether it's a pay-as-you-go product where you're making the annual premium. There are plenty of places to find those dollars. Could be utilizing the 10% free right of withdrawal out of annuities. It can be taking one deferred annuity, 1035 in it, into a unique SPIA that we have, and then have the kick out premiums over 7 years, thereby leveling the tax for that 7-year period. Or maybe your client is in fact concerned about the chronic illness, long-term care events. We have plenty of single premium life products that have a variety of long-term care, home health care, or the one I've just described, just 2 ADLs, we pay the money out and never have to recertify. It truly is the miracle of paper and ink, isn't it? If you haven't been thinking about approaching your clients about life insurance and single premium life, I think you better, because the sale of life insurance products up 52% over the same period last year. Juice up your life insurance? That was an article in one of the June weekend editions of the Wall Street Journal, hyping this type of product. 30 days prior to that, the Wall Street Journal talks about hybrid annuities and life plans. Hey, right now, the banker's laughing. He will be crying if you do your job. The opportunity is there to satisfy one of the greatest needs Americans have and for you to be paid handsomely. How do you do it? You need some help? You've come to the right place. Give the Ohlson Group a call. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your business. And until next time, good selling.